Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me today. In today's video, we're going to pick up where we left off from the previous video. We're going to continue to talk about tuning. Today we will do so using a reference pitch as our means of getting the instrument in tune. So there are a number of advantages of using a reference pitch to tune one's instrument. The first is that it'll help us to improve our sense of pitch discrimination, which of course is an important skill for any musician and especially a string player. Another reason is that if you're going to be playing with other instrumentalists or other musicians, you can tune to those instruments instead of being locked into one specific pitch set, which the other instruments may not be locked into. Another reason is that if for whatever reason you end up or you find yourself in a low-tech situation without cell phones or without electricity, you can use a mechanical device to get you started, such as a tuning fork, which we'll see in a little bit. On the flip side, there are a couple of disadvantages. If you're not used to doing this, it can probably take longer than you might want it to, although the more you do it and the better you get at it, it'll be the quicker and easier it'll become. Another disadvantage is that if you do find yourself, or rather it does require that you have the appropriate tools with you, the proper devices, electronic gizmos and what have you, so you do need to have those available to you. So there are a number of ways that one can get one's reference pitch. Pianos are pretty commonplace, and it's usually a good source to find one, and it's especially important if you're going to be playing along with the piano. So we'll first need to hear a concert A from the piano, and my assistant will now demonstrate that. So my assistant is playing a concert A on the piano. For the cello, the A string actually corresponds to the A below that, which will sound like this. So you can use the piano to get those two pitches to get you started. Okay, thank you. Another device, which was very prevalent during my youth, and you can still find these today, is a tuning fork. If you haven't seen them before, here's what they look like. Okay, this one of course is also a concert A. Hit it against something hard. I actually bang it against my knee. Now, if I just let it resonate like this, chances are you're not going to hear it. We need to hold it against something to hear that sound. So let me get it vibrating again, and then I'm going to put it against my cello, and we should be able to hear it more clearly. Okay, right now I have it pressed against the bridge of my cello. It'll work against other parts of the cello as well, but better if it's on some part of the sound box of the cello. So this is our reference A, which we can use to tune our A string. Another possibility is one that you'll see a little bit later in this video. There are any of a number of devices that will produce the sound that we want. This is the metronome that I usually use, and it also produces an A, and I can use that if I wish. And of course, the internet is a great source to find the reference pitch that you may need. What I've done here is I've searched for the term online pitch generator, and as you see, there are a number of hits. I already checked out this first one. Let's go to that. Now, 440 Hertz happens to be the concert A that I mentioned in the previous parts of this video. Maybe it's the later parts. At any rate, this is 440 is concert A, which I mentioned elsewhere in this video, and it says it here as well. And if you want to search for a specific pitch, you can do it here using this this function. So once I have it selected, simply play it, and you can use that. We don't care about the software manager. We can use that pitch to get our reference, to get our A string on the cello tuned, and then go on from there. Okay, so let's begin. So let me turn it on. Let's hear what it sounds like. That's my A. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do now is compare that sound to the A string of my cello, which should be exactly 1 octave below this reference pitch. Okay, that is clearly wrong. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to use the fine tuner, which is out of the view of the camera right now. And I think we're almost there. Okay. I can turn off that horrible whining A, and I'm ready to move on. Now that my A string is in tune, I'm going to use that to help tune my D string. And there are really two ways of comparing the two strings. One is to just play them separately, consecutively, and see how they compare. Okay, so that's clearly incorrect. We want those two sounds to be one perfect fifth away from each other. The D is clearly too high, so I'm going to lower it. Okay, that seems okay. Let's check it again. So I'm going to try the consecutive sounds. Might be a little bit high. I'm going to lower it just a little bit using the fine tuner. Okay, so that sounds good so far. Now I'm going to try a different method to compare the two. I'm going to use harmonics. I'm going to use the first harmonic on the A string and the second harmonic on the D string, and they should be identical pitches. Okay, they sound pretty good to me. So that'll bring me to my third way of comparing them, and that is to play them both at the same time to hear that the combined interval. Okay, it seems like it might be just a little bit off. Let me adjust that. Okay, I think that'll work. And as an additional check, I can play both of those at the same time using the first harmonic for both. So using all of those sort of in tandem with each other, we can be pretty confident that we're getting those two strings well in tune with each other. Then to continue the process, I will use the D string to see how the G string is. Actually, let's start with just comparing. Offhand, that sounds good. Let me try the harmonics. I think the G might be just a little bit low. I made a little adjustment with the fine tuner. The open fifth sounds good. I'm going to try the harmonic fifth. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. Excuse me. And now we're going to do the exact same thing to go to the final string, the C string. Okay, I just cheated a little bit. I just brought it out of tune on purpose so that we can follow the process just a little bit more. Let's start with the G. I think it's just a little bit flat, which is not surprising because I did lower it a little bit with the fine tuner. Still just a little bit flat. Okay, and I think we should be in good shape now. Okay, and I think we're finished tuning our cello for this practice session. And that's it. We're ready for anything now. Okay, and next time we will look at tuning yet again, but in our final installment on tuning, we will be using an electronic tuning device to accomplish the same thing. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them here, or if you prefer, you can reach me through my website, which you can see on this screen. Thanks again for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.